What's up? What's up? What's up, Big Ten fans, college basketball fans? It's your man Stephen Bardo coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Um, man, exciting weekend. We're here, y'all. I couldn't do a live show like this, in my regular studio because I got shot out of a cannon the first couple weeks of the season. So it has taken me. I know I'm getting older. I don't know why I'm admitting this, but I know I'm getting older because it's taking me a little bit more time to get my rhythm in the season. It's a different rhythm, ladies and gentlemen, and so I'm here now. Next week I'll tape something, or I may go a little bit earlier because I have another game on Monday. But then December and January look pretty good for me to have full shows on Monday evenings right here, same time, same bat channel. Um, so yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting to all your questions. We're gonna get into it. We got a good show. Ryan, hit that intro, partner. Dang, I kind of like that intro, but man, I got too much gray hair and all that, so I may have to work on that. Um, let's get into it, guys. So I want to recap over the weekend. It was a big weekend for Big Ten teams, and they're challenging themselves, which I really like, and I think it's important in the month of November that college basketball get off to a great start with these heavyweight matchups because football is king. It dominates the sports landscape. We know that. But in order to get more eyeballs on college basketball and get people excited, you need these type of challenge games, and the Big Ten is definitely challenging themselves. So let's get to the first one. This is the biggest one of the weekend. Number 2, Alabama invades Mackey Arena to Purdue, and it was just a fantastic performance all the way around by Purdue. Trey Kaufman-Wren was electric. He was 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists against the front line of Alabama. Cliff Omori got in foul trouble. You Big Ten fans remember that name. He got in foul trouble. Grant Nelson couldn't do anything with Trey Kaufman-Wren. I tell you what, Braden Smith once again went heads up against Mark Sears, who was first team All-American. And Mark Sears wasn't bad. 15 points, 6 rebounds. No, I'm sorry, 15 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, but he was 1 of 6 from 3. And Braden Smith was outstanding. 17 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. And ladies and gentlemen, Purdue had 3 turnovers the whole game against the number 2 team in the land. And so I think that people are starting to understand now that this Purdue team is legit, even without Zach Edey. And so you see Trey Kaufman-Wren. I think CJ Cox is coming into his own. Jakari Harris and Miles Colvin didn't score, but Matt Painter had a lot of praise for those 2 guys in the way that they played. And so Purdue is getting outstanding contributions all the way around. Guys are bought in. I think it's a carryover from an incredible year last year. Fletcher Loyer was outstanding, 17 points. He was 3 of 5 from three-point land, was very confident, talked a little trash to the bench, Alabama bench right at the end of the first half. And again, CJ Cox hit 3 threes that were backbreakers in a key point of the game. So Purdue did their thing at home, and they rolled number two Alabama at home. This next game, Wisconsin's upset over number 9 Arizona. I called this one on Peacock. I had a blast with Noah Eagle. Man, I'm telling you guys, I've got the dream job. I get to work with some outstanding play-by-play people on all 3 of these networks, and Noah Eagle is definitely one of them. We had fun. It was an electric atmosphere. I think that might have been as good as I've ever seen the Kohl Center. They brought back Frank Kaminsky and company, Bo Ryan, that Final Four group, and it was electric in Madison, Wisconsin the whole weekend. starting out Friday night on this game, Saturday hosting number 1 Oregon on the football side of Camp Randall. But John Tanjay, ladies and gentlemen, had a coming out party. 41 points on 14 field goal attempts. That's the most points on that few of field goal attempts, I believe, since 2001, something like that. He hit 21 of 22 free throws. And even, with the score, Arizona was averaging over 90 points a game. I thought John Blackwell and Max Klesmit were fantastic defensively against Caleb Love. Total denial, face denial. John Blackwell baited Caleb Love, a fifth-year senior now, one of the top 5 active leading scorers in the nation, baited him into a technical foul, and after that, he was toast. He was not into the game. His head was out of the game, and Wisconsin kind of punked Arizona. Now, I think it was a carryover from last year when Wisconsin went out to Tucson and Arizona put that foot in that behind, but Wisconsin came back and put that foot in their behind. The offense for Wisconsin is improved. I like the way that they're looking for their three. They're getting downhill. They're getting to the free throw line. They want to make more free throws than their opponents attempt. I thought they did a pretty good job. In the first half, Arizona got going in the second half. That game had 81, I think it was 81 combined free throw attempts. So I hadn't called a game with that many free throw attempts, but it was an electric game. And John Tanjay, Big Ten Player of the Week, deservedly so. Outstanding performance in that one. So let's go to the game previews. Let me get to my banners here. Where are we here? So these are the games to watch. Purdue at Marquette. That'll be tomorrow. Illinois at Alabama on Wednesday. No, yes. And then what is that? Friday, Nebraska at Creighton. So let's look at this first one. Purdue at Marquette. Marquette was in West Lafayette last year. It was a close victory for Purdue. Zach Edey was dominant. Tyler Kolek had a great game, but he's with the New York Knicks now. And so a little bit of revamped situation there. So Trey Kaufman-Renn against Marquette's front line. Let's see what he can do, because Marquette's front line against a much larger front line of Maryland over the weekend handled themselves pretty well. They did a good job defensively, but Trey Kaufman-Renn is a different animal. Matt Painter and his staff do a fantastic job of running sets to get him free, and they just open up a weak side. They start in kind of a horn set sometimes. They start in a double stack, and then they pop to the weak side very quickly. Trey Kaufman-Renn acts like he's setting the screen and then posts his guy up, and he's got the whole side to work. And I mean, Grant Nelson of Alabama will have nightmares about Trey Kaufman-Renn and what he was able to do to him. Let's see if Marquette will be much more aggressive. Double team in the post, they'll run different looks at him. Marquette is number 3 in the nation in steal rate, so they really get after you. That's a trademark of Shaka Smart coach teams. The Boilers only 3 turnovers against Alabama, so I think that's the key area. Can Purdue take care of the basketball in Fiserv Forum? That play's gonna be rocking. That's 18,000 plus people. Cam Jones and Braden Smith. You know what? They say Mark Sears is the best point guard in the country. I'm starting to think it's Braden Smith. And he's definitely going to get tested against this Marquette squad. And then Cam Jones is having an unbelievable season. He's averaging 24 points a game. So when you look at this matchup, those two won't be going head-to-head, because I think Stevie Mitchell will be checking Braden Smith, trying to harass him. Cam will get some time on it, but it'd be more like, I think, Chase Ross, Stevie Mitchell will get the bulk of the assignment against Braden Smith. And then on Purdue's side, you're going to see a lot, in my opinion, of Miles Colvin, CJ Cox, Jakari Harris. Those guys will get their turn against Cam Jones, because I don't see Fletcher Lawyer trying to check Cam Jones. That's not a recipe for success defensively for Purdue. So pay attention to the turnover situation. If Purdue can take care of the basketball and get Trey Kaufman-Wren going early, that bodes well for them on the road. The next matchup is going to be a fantastic one because Alabama is going to be having smoke coming out of their ears after getting beat at Purdue. Bama's a top 5 offense, and believe it or not, guys, Illinois is 21st. I got them top 20, but they're 21st ranked defense in the country right now. So Illinois is a little bit better defensively than I think even I was aware of. And, you look at their offense because they're so dynamic, but defensively, Illinois has been pretty good. So Mark Sears will be seeing blood against Kylan Boswell. I know that Bam, that's Kylan's nickname, Bam will get the assignment to start off the game against Mark Sears. This is an incredibly fast tempo. I thought Purdue did a fantastic job of slowing the Alabama tempo down. I think Alabama is number 3 in the country. Let me make sure. Number 5 offensive efficiency in the country. Tempo-wise, they're one of the faster tempos, top 30 in the country. And so Illinois is going to have their hands full, obviously, with one of the best and quickest offenses in the nation. And when I look at the key, I think Tomislav Ivicic is going to be key because I don't. Alabama doesn't force turnovers like that. It's not like a scrambling defense, whatnot. They pretty much just want to outscore you. They play decent defense and Cliff Omori at the rim, but a lot of times, and I've seen this through Cliff's career at Rutgers, in the big games, man, he hasn't shown up. He hasn't been consistent. And against Purdue, he got in foul trouble. The way that Illinois plays and the kind of pressure they put on teams from an offensive standpoint, I would not be surprised to see Cliff Omori get in foul trouble once again. And so it starts to get at the depth of the front line of Alabama. Now, Alabama has some size up front. Grant Nelson, but he's, not a very physical guy, so I don't see Ivicic having an issue with him. But when you look at Cliff Omori, Jaron Stevenson, and then Aiden Sherrill will get some time as well. Those guys, they have some nice size up front, but they're not a stalwart defensive team. So I think Ivicic could be a key because Illinois is going to get threes up. Because Alabama, again, when you look at their defensive metrics, they're okay. They're a top 50 defense, but effective field goal percentage defense is 44. That's outside the top 50. So, they're decent defensively, but I think Illinois' offense won't have a problem getting off the three, getting up and down, because that's the way the Alabama wants to play. They want to run. So, offensively, both teams could kind of have their way, but I like Illinois' defense in this one. But I don't have Illinois winning this game. I've got Alabama winning this. I just think coming off of a tough road loss, it's not in Tuscaloosa. It's right down the street in Birmingham. So it's a semi-home situation for Alabama. They're going to show up and show out with the Tide fan base, and they'll feel much more comfortable at home, where Alabama played their first and second round matchups in the NCAA tournament last season. So they'll be familiar with playing on that court in Birmingham. That place will be rocking. Can Illinois win this game? Of course they can. But they're going to have some outstanding performances. Will Riley's going to be 20 plus. Yakashionis would have to be 20 plus. Ivicic would have to have a really good game. He might have to be 20 plus. They're going to have some guys that have some abnormally good offensive games, because this game is going to be in the 90s, if not higher. So great matchup. If I was in Vegas, I'd bet Alabama, but I do see some areas where Cliff Omori gets in foul trouble. If Mark Sears was 5 of 15 from field, I think he's 1 of 6 from 3 against Purdue. If he's off and he's not like stellar, there are some avenues where Illinois can win this game. It's going to be a fantastic matchup for the Illini. The third game that I want to highlight is Nebraska at Creighton. I don't know if you guys were able to watch Nebraska and St. Mary's yesterday. St. Mary's is a top 25 team. I don't think they're ranked in the top 25 right now, but they should be. That's a very, very good team. And Nebraska played them up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in the Pentagon Center. The Sanford Sports Complex was a fantastic event. I've covered a game up there. They do a fantastic job. And Nebraska's fans were there. And what happened in that game early, Nebraska was real loose with the basketball. I think they had like 9 or 10. They probably had like 9 or 10 turnovers in the first half. And about 5 of those or 6 of those were in the first 8 minutes of the game. So they dug themselves a hole. They were loose with the basketball. St. Mary's was more physical. They were handsy. They got a ton of deflections. And so Nebraska's going to have to clean that up. Now, Creighton is not a bad defensive team based on Ryan Kalkbrenner, the best, maybe the best defender in college basketball, especially at the rim. But if they can take care of the basketball, I think they have enough offense, do the Huskers, to stay up with this high-powered attack of Creighton. Now, here's the thing. Kalkbrenner won't go 20 of 22 like he did earlier this season for 40-something points because Nebraska's got some size up front. Mia, 7-footer. Burkenell, Burkenell. I'll get his pronunciation right. They've got some size up front. What's the young man from North Dakota? Hold on. Let me pull that up real quick. Bear with me, y'all. I want to get this young man's name right. Because they've got, I just want to emphasize the fact that Nebraska has good size up front. And so Braxton Mia, 7'1", Burkenell, 6'10", Andrew Morgan, that's a guy, 6'10". And those guys are active. They're not just big stiffs. They're active bigs. And so I think Nebraska has enough up front to slow Kalkbrenner down. And so I don't see Kalkbrenner going off. But Stephen Ashworth, Pop Isaacs, those guys are elite. They have an elite backcourt. Bryce Williams had 28 yesterday and got in foul trouble. He was perfect from the free throw line, 28 points, but he's going to have to be Bryce Williams high level. Jawan Gary didn't score well. He was his active self, blocking shots and whatnot, but they need him to be double figures. They need Raleigh Worcester. They need him to be better. Connor Essegian hit a couple threes. He did what he was that you expect him to be, but Nebraska's going to have to have another guy in double figures in order to upset Creighton at Creighton. I don't really see it. I really like where Creighton is, especially at home, where they get 18,000 plus. They've been top 10 in attendance the last 10 years running. So Creighton gets it rocking in there. That's going to be a tough venue, and that's a natural rivalry between those two teams for bragging rights in the state of Nebraska. So that'll be a good one. All right, I just want to throw this in here because a lot of Big Ten fans were upset because Illinois wasn't in the top 10. Big Ten only had a couple teams in the top 10. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's changed. So right now, Purdue at number 6, Indiana at 16. Wisconsin leaps into the top 25 after their upset of number 9, Arizona. They're at 19. Rutgers is at 24. And then Illinois comes in at 25. So the Big Ten getting some love up front in the top 25 rankings. I know that's important to a lot of you guys, so I wanted to share that. All right, Big Ten Player of the Week. No surprise there. John Tonje, 41 points, 21 of 22 free throws made on just 14 shot attempts against Arizona. He was electrifying. He was downhill most of the game. He hit a couple threes, but he was mostly downhill. And John Tonje's got an unusual way of contorting his body going to the rim. I want you guys to pay attention to that next time you watch Wisconsin play. You'll see what I'm talking about. He's very unique in that at 6'5", 6'6", he can get lower than almost all of his opponents, whether they're shorter than him or not. He's got a unique ability there, and I think it's pretty fun to watch. So he's the Big Ten Player of the Week, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, and we're going to see this a lot with these Rutgers freshmen. Dylan Harper averaged 22 points over their wins against St. Peter's and Monmouth, 22 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. He's been stellar, good as advertised. So Dylan Harper, Big Ten Freshman of the Week. All right, let's see. Let me start to get to your questions here. Take the banner off. All right. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What are we doing here? There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. So yeah, guys, I wanted to share some things with you. My kind of general impressions. I made a joke, and I have to forget how sissy soft we are now as a society, because, and you guys in the tribe, you guys, I think you know that when I joke, I don't make jokes about things that I haven't experienced. And so I was talking about a player, and I mentioned, something that comes along with teenage years, which is acne, because I struggled with acne myself when I was a teenager. So I brought it up in a game, and folks were lighting me up about that. And I don't know, man. It's I'm just gonna have to be bland and not let my personality show through, because there was one woman that I grew up with. This lady knows me through and through, and tried to admonish me and got really got at me and tell me what to do. And I started to curse her out via social media. I really did, because I'm like, you actually know me. A lot of these people don't even know me, that call me an MF and say all this stuff online. And that doesn't bother me anymore. It used to. That really doesn't bother me. But when people that know me try to go at me and talk ish, whatever, man. Anyway, but besides that, it's been great. The start of the season's been great. My experiences, man, go check out this kid, Marcus Johnson, if you guys haven't seen him, from Bowling Green. He was giving Michigan State the business. 6'7", 270, but skill set, can shoot it, can handle, can pass. He got game, y'all. Bowling Green is going to be a team to watch. He had a coming out party against Michigan State. So go check him out. What else? We talked about John Tanjay. Let me think. You guys watch Michigan. Danny Wolf is very skilled big. Who else that's kind of jumped out at me from some of the games I've watched? Yeah, those are kind of my things that I've noticed, and just wanted to mention and keep you guys informed. What's up, Spoon River Cowboy? Has the portal and NIL reduced thugs in basketball? I see less players getting busted for theft and assault. I'm not going to respond to that. I'm going to leave that right there. There's a lot loaded in your question there, Spoon River Cowboy. I'm going to leave that there. Glad to be back after missed a few weeks. Big wins for Purdue and Wisconsin. Yes, CD, NIU, excellent wins. And these things are so important, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of times, unfortunately, we have gotten to the point where a lot of people put so much emphasis on March Madness that we don't understand that the games in November, in terms of gravity and importance for the whole season, matter just as much as the games in February. And when you have marquee wins for a conference, like the Big Ten experienced this weekend, the narrative throughout the season will be better. I guarantee you guys, the narrative will be better. Now, if these Big Ten teams can continue to win these marquee games, it will continue to get better. But these are very important games for the national narrative of the conference as a whole, especially in an expansion year. You got 4 more teams. So it's really, really important. No need to change the intro. You look good with salt and pepper. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Uh, Ken Liddell. I think he's getting his just due now. I really do, because he was winning before Zach Edey got there. I think nationally people didn't understand what he was doing, but people in the Big Ten, they know how good Painter of Coach Painter is, and he's been dominating. Purdue's been dominating the league for the last 3 or 4 years. So it's always good to give him credit because he's a great guy. He's a hell of a coach. So I think he's getting his just due, but it's always good to give him his love. Well said, Ken. Golly, it's amazing how often one player on Bardo's breakdown gets mentioned. I swear this kid is mentioned more than anybody. Bardo, now I agree with you about Booker from MSU. I'm glad, Tyson. He's still not ready in terms of being what fans thought. People were saying that Xavier Booker was a one and done. People were saying that Gavin Griffiths was a top 50 player who's now in Nebraska. This kid has lost his confidence. He was never a top 50 player. These rankings, that's why when people said Will Riley was a top 10 ranked player, I was skeptical. I ain't gonna lie, because these rankings they're not accurate all the time. Sometimes they hit, but sometimes they woefully miss because they're not putting rankings are eye tests for people and high school stats. And Xavier Booker's 6'11", almost 7 foot. He's going to dominate high school because he's bigger than everybody, and he's skilled. He's got a good skill set. Gavin Griffiths jumps off the page because he's 6'7", almost 6'8", and he's athletic. But the kid, to me, doesn't know how to play. He doesn't understand how to play. He got in the game yesterday, and for a kid that size and that athletic, for you not to, let me pull back. And I'm not, I don't have anything against Gavin Griffiths, but it's this narrative I'm trying to get across to fans, Big Ten fans, about these rankings and these expectations on these players. So when you question Tom Izzo, who's been at Michigan State for 41 years, he's been a head coach for 30 years. You think all of a sudden he missed on one kid? He doesn't know what he's looking at? Come on, guys. Hold on. I'm just going to give you an example of what I'm talking about with Gavin Griffiths. Again, I don't have anything against him. He's just another example of guys who are ranked a certain way and they're not ready. He played 7 minutes. He took 1 3 and he had 1 foul. No rebounds, no assists, no steals, no blocks, nothing. Right? This kid is 6'7" and he's an athlete. But he's just out there. And I know they're trying to get his confidence up. I know Fred Hoiberg is, I think, one of the better coaches in the Big Ten in giving players confidence. He's trying to get this kid to come. He's trying to get him in there. But when you're playing a team like St. Mary's, who in my opinion is a top 25 team, he gave him 7 minutes. If you're not doing anything, if you're not affecting the game in any way, he took 1 3 and nothing else at 6'7", athlete. Like Gavin Griffiths is a above average athlete at this level. And defensively, I think he got lost a couple times. And I think he got scored on a couple times because he got lost off ball. And so, guys, when you got to, I'm not saying this based on guessing. I get a chance to talk to these coaches. I don't tell you guys all the intel that I get, because I say that for the tribe members, the people in the tiered members of the tribe. But No, man. I appreciate you tuning in, Tyson. But guys, like, think about it. Oh, and I heard something today, and this is kind of off the subject, but just hear me out for a second. People were dogging LeBron James out for not having Bronny James travel. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you why he's not traveling, but I want you to think about it. And if somebody figures it out, put it in the comments. Bronny James probably would have gone to Duke or Ohio State, but he went to USC. So why did he go to USC? Where's LeBron live? Why does he go to USC? Right? Why does he not going to travel in the G League? Think about that for a second. Put two and two together. You think you think LeBron James doesn't want Bronny to progress to be the best player he could possibly be? He's not trying to hide him. But think about it, and whoever come up with it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Just had to throw that in there because my man, one of my best friends, told me why, and I was like, oh, because man, he's got national people hitting on him, and they don't even know the deal. They don't even know why the James family is doing this. So think about that for a second, and if you guys figure it out, put it in the comments and let me know. All right. Thank you, Tyson. Greg Gard better not win Big Ten Coach of the Year because of low expectations for Wisconsin again, says Philip. But Philip, who's been saying don't sleep on Wisconsin? Who's been telling y'all that all off season? I mean, you don't think he'd be in the mix for Big Ten Coach of the Year if Wisconsin could be in the top 4 or 5 of the Big Ten Conference? And I think they were preseason ranked 10th. Nah, man. Got to give credit where credit's due. But thanks for tuning in, Philip. Let's see. Oh, good question, Hoop Baller Scoop. Thanks for tuning in, partner. You have called Michigan and Michigan State games early on. Which team looks better eye test wise to you? Wow. Great question. I think early on, wow, that's a great question. Because both teams have tested themselves. Michigan has gone to Wake Forest and lost a close one. They came back and beat TCU. Michigan State went and played the number 1 team in the country and didn't shoot the ball worth of crap, but was right there. Battled them pretty well. Kansas didn't play their best either, but that had something to do with Michigan State's defense. KJ Adams, a very good player for Kansas, gets overshadowed from Hunter Dickinson and DeJuan Harris and AJ Storr and Rylan Griffin and Zeke Mayo and David Colt, all these guys, right? KJ Adams is a key cog of Kansas, and Michigan State took him out defensively. And then they come back and play a very good Bowling Green team. And, they were in a battle through the second half, and then they came on at the end. Wow. I think defensively, I would have to give the nod right now, a slight edge to Michigan State defensively. Offensively, I definitely have to give the nod to Michigan. If they were to play today on a neutral court, I think I would pick Michigan because they're more consistent offensively. And they're not bad defensively. They're not bad. I think Michigan State's a little bit ahead of them in terms of defensively. But offensively, Michigan is more advanced. And so I would give the slight edge. If they were to play in a neutral court right now, I'd give the slight edge to the Wolverines. But that's a great question, Hoop Ball Scoop. Thank you for that. What's up, Tommy? Good to see you, man. What do you think the future holds for Underwood and the Illini possibility of a national championship? I think it can happen. I want you guys to go look at this. If you haven't seen it, the Illini had a preseason kind of like all access for 4-segment series, and I'm not going to give it away, but I'm going to tell you one thing that I loved. One of the segments, they commissioned an artist to do a painting, and this thing is big, like it's big, and they have it up in their room. They have it up in their locker room, and I don't know if they're going to take it with them, but there's this painting, right? And it's the road to Seattle, and it's the Alamo, and they've got on the bottom entry, the door entry, there's a national championship trophy. And on the window above, it's the black eye for the Fighting Illini. When you do visual and mental imagery, and you start to do that early in the season, that stuff works, ladies and gentlemen. I won a championship in Japan. I played there 4 years. The first 3 years, we could not get past our arch rival, Isuzu. The Toshiba team brought in sports psychiatrists, and we went through a visualization practice. And we didn't have a visual thing, but we did our own visual thing. And I don't have it. I was going to show you guys this picture that the very thing that I visualized in our sessions, there was a photographer that took this picture of me and I did it in visualization. I put my arms up, I had my head down smiling, and this guy caught a picture right when we won the championship. This visualization stuff works, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that they've got a visual representation of a national championship. It may not happen this year, but I think that they're going to get there because that is his goal. That's the goal of the program. When you make an Elite Eight run and they lost to the eventual national champions in UConn, and he saw what he needs for the program, I think they can get there. I really do. They're playing in the Big Ten Conference. They're going to get tested. It's not that they're not going to get tested, and they're testing themselves in non-conference. So I think so. I think at some point they can, Tommy. Great question. Man, you guys are on fire today. Curtis Dietz asking, is anybody going to Kansas City for the Arkansas game? He's looking for a good watering hole. You know there'll be one, Curtis, because the Illini faithful show up and show out. So you know that they'll be in the mix somewhere. And if I hear about it, I'll let you know. Brandon, this is my dude. Lindsey Huddleston and me, we got a picture together. He gave him a hug. That's my guy, man. I met him. We were panelists. I can't remember what we were doing, but we were panelists a few years ago. We clicked immediately, and I try to support him. And he does. You're right. He does a fantastic job. He does so good of covering Michigan State and the state of Michigan high school sports, and he covers Michigan State football and Michigan State basketball. Does a great job. You're right. Great dude. Got a chance to hug him. We took a picture. I'm going to see him again because I've got Sanford at Michigan State tomorrow on Peacock. Guys, Sanford was a tournament team last year, put a scare in Kansas first round. Their preseason #1 pick in the Southern Conference. I'll be there tomorrow night covering that game with Jack Collinsworth on the 1s and 2s on Peacock app. Check us out there. But Lindsey will be there. Or wait a minute. No, he won't be there because he's got something with his daughter. But I did get a chance to chop it up with him, Brandon. Thank you for that. Well, CD, NIU, Sears didn't get his against Purdue. I mean, I think he had 15, but he was 5 of 15 from the field, 1 of 6 from the 3. So I thought Purdue did a pretty good job against him defensively. So, and I think Bam is a better defender than any of the Purdue guards. So we'll see. Philip, real good one. Nero played a fiddle as Rome Byrne. Now Izzo plays a fiddler as East Lansing Burns. Pretty good, Philip. He's talking about oh my gosh. I love y'all. Y'all, oh man, y'all make this so much fun. I'm up here cracking up. So I had my play-by-play partner for the Michigan State Bowling Green game is Jack Kaiser, 26 years old. This was his first. This was his first Big Ten men's basketball game. He's worked with Big Ten Network before, but this was his first Big Ten men's basketball game. Very, very cool dude. Very well prepared. Fun to work with. I threw some things at him, and one of the things I said, y'all know I like to have fun. So I said, I'm going old school on you, Jack. I don't know if you know this, but Fiddler on the Roof. And he knew. I guess it was in his 8th grade or 7th grade humanities course or something. One of his high school classmates texted him and said, "Oh, come on, man, Fiddler on the Roof, 7th grade something." And he knew what I was talking about. This is what Phillip is referring to. Frankie Fiddler is one of the better players at Michigan State. Well done. Well done. Frankie struggled a little bit yesterday. Although he was 10 of 10 from the free throw line, he had 12 points. He was only 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. Michigan State continues to be poor from three-point land. They were 4 of 20 yesterday. Jay Nakins and Frankie Fiddler are going to be guys that they really depend on. Michigan State, they've got to be better than 1 of 10 from three-point land. So, but thanks for that reference, Phillip. That's pretty cool. Julian Brown, what's good, brother? Love you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, Miguel, I like Bowling Green. Fellas, Marcus Johnson, look him up. What's up with all these D2 players coming to the D1 level killing? What's up with that? Like, if I'm scouting and, I need to bring in players, if I'm looking in the transfer portal to fill a need and I'm looking at players, I'm not necessarily looking, I'm not going to just look D1 level. I'm looking D2 because every year now we're starting to get more and more Division II players that transfer to D1 and immediately are balling. So to me, who was sleeping on this kid? Because he's 6'7", 270. He looks a little heavy, but he's light on his feet. Crazy handles. Can pass. They had a lightning quick guard, Kelly. What was his first name? Kelly was a lightning quick guard. There's another guard who had a kind of knee buckled on him a little bit. His name is escaping me. But yeah, they had some players, man. They got rim protectors. They shoot the three like crazy. They play at an incredibly fast pace. And Todd Simon, the head coach at Bowling Green, he was 1 of 10 coaches that went from 20 losses to 20 wins last year. So this guy can really coach. And he grew up in the shadow of his hometown is 20 minutes away from East Lansing. Loves Tom Izzo, loves the Michigan State program. They took it to the Spartans yesterday or the other day. It was a really, really good game. So Bowling Green's picked to win. Oh, they're not picked to win the MAC, or maybe they are. Can't remember. But they'll be one of the better teams in the MAC. And this dude is for real. For real. Right? And I know if you guys are active on social media, you've seen all these clips of people showing Marcus Johnson because he was giving the business. Javante Campbell, Yo-Yo Kayat. You guys remember him? The young man from Lebanon that was started his career at Michigan. He's a player at Bowling Green as well. So that's a talented team, man. One to watch. Definitely one to watch. Thomas, what's up, Thomas? Good to see you. Not to be a naysayer, but Illinois is still trying to gel. A win in the next 3 weeks would be huge. Oh, I think they'll get one of these, Thomas. Arkansas or Alabama in Birmingham is going to be difficult. That's going to be difficult. Arkansas and Kansas City, I think is winnable. Tennessee, Brad Underwood told me he thinks that's the best team he's seen this year. So Tennessee, even in Champaign, that's going to be a hell of a game. because Tennessee is always going to be elite defensively. Um, and Chaz Lanier, I mean, he's fit in seamlessly where Dalton Connect was. It's the same kind of setup. He's coming in as a hired scorer, and man, this kid score? Um, Zakai Ziegler is always going to be. Um, he's one of the best ball hawking guards in the country. So Tennessee has a top 16 offense and a number 4 defense. They're number 4 in the country defensively, and they've got a top 16 offense. They're one of the more balanced teams. That's why they're number 6 ranked in Ken Palm. That's going to be a tough game. If Illinois wins that's a hell of a feather in their cap. I do see them winning against Arkansas. I do see them winning against Missouri. Let me look at Illinois' their Arkansas, Tennessee, Missouri, Chicago State. So I see them, Thomas. I can see them against Arkansas getting that win. Tennessee's going to be tough, even though it's at home. That's a tough one. Northwestern's going to be. I can see them winning at Northwestern. At home against Wisconsin, that's going to be a great matchup because Illinois has done very well against the Badgers here of late. I don't think they've lost. I think Illinois is one of the last 9 matchups against the Badgers. So I don't. That's going to be a hell of a game. I still think I like Illinois at home against the Badgers, but I think they can win those. They can win some of those games. I know they're still gelling, but they've got enough talent. Thomas, good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Brandon, as good as advertised. Big Ten Freshman of the Week, averaged 22 points in 2 wins this week. And every game that he plays, he's getting better and better, as good as advertised. Yeah, Thomas, I know, man. I know. I agree. But see, me and you are the same age group. You understand what I'm saying. But thank you for saying that. Uh, you too, Spoon River Cowboy. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Seriously. All the tribe for your support. Because you guys understand, man. And he said it perfectly. We know how much you love these young men. And if that is not apparent when I'm calling a game, then I don't know if you really listen to me call games. Because I want to see all of these young men have success. I love all of them. Because I see them as, they're in the Big Ten brethren now. Even with the transfer portal and all that, if you wear a Big Ten jersey, I consider you in the family. So thank you guys. I appreciate you for that. Oh, Philip, look, let me see if I can pull this up. On Twitter today, oh my goodness. They had some of the best nicknames I have ever heard. All right, hold on. This was hilarious. Wait a minute. Where is it? Cream Bigums. Um, hold on. Snack Randolph, Big Mac Boyambo, Zion Grilliamson, Jason Taters, Anthony Davis, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, uh, Rubies Gobert, Cade Eatingham, Ham Adebayo, LeBron, LeBron James, and Draymond Cream. He got Gabe though. So yeah, that folks have already they've been coming up with nicknames for him because the guy can play, man. Guy can really play. Embrots tells you the state of affairs and people who know better take after you. You told us about Wisconsin. Now I see. Thanks, Embrots. I appreciate it. Um, mm, Uh, man, who is the guy from Oakland who got the two nasty dunks against Illinois? Joe, I got to jog my memory on that one. Will Marez Johnson Jr. get more run this week against Alabama if Ivisic gets babied in the defensive post? Probably. But there Alabama doesn't run a lot of post stuff. They're mostly 5 out, none in the post. They'll run guys in there, but they don't go through the post a ton. They shoot more threes than anybody in the country. So I think that's why Cliff Amore kind of fits in with Alabama, because he was never really a good back to the basket guy, because offensively he's really limited. But I don't know. I think the issue for Ivisic and Johnson will be, can they guard on the perimeter, and can they cover the actions that Alabama's going to throw at Illinois? That's more the issue than getting bodied in the post, in my opinion. Marcus Johnson looked like Mark Jackson's brother Escalade from the N1 series. Yeah, Joe, but Escalade didn't have this skill set. And this kid, look, Todd Simon, the head coach at Bowling Green, says he thinks Marcus Johnson is the best shooter in college basketball. And he wasn't hitting his threes yesterday, but baby, he's got some game. I mean, he went baseline a couple times over Carson Cooper, Jackson Kohler. They threw Cohen Carr on him. He put Cohen Carr on his hip and then dropped him right at the bucket. Oh, it was a beautiful thing to watch. If you guys have not seen it, go back and watch the replay of Michigan State Bowling Green. Watch this kid, especially in the first half. He was giving the Spartans the business, straight up, the business. Thanks for tuning in, Joe. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, Kevin, I'm just talking about love watching him play. What did you like about the Spartans? The fact that they fought hard. Cohen Carr had 2 electrifying dunks that changed the nature of the game. I thought Jeremy Fears was pretty good. I think he got too deep on his penetration a couple times, but I thought he was aggressive. Defensively, I thought he was pretty good. Trey Holloman was good. I like the rotation of the bigs. Jackson Kohler started, and Xavier Booker came off the bench. It was reversed to start the season. I think Tom thinks that Xavier can give a little bit better spark off the bench. Bowling Green is a tough matchup. With their ability for Marcus Johnson playing a 4 to come out and play the way he's pretty much he's a point forward. That's a tough matchup. But I thought Michigan State did well. I really did. I liked them a lot, and I think that they're building. Philip, Xavier Johnson goes to Nebraska. Are you referring to Xavier Johnson from Indiana? His eligibility has expired. I don't know. Yeah. Is that who you're talking about? Bardo, do you think the Illini have 3 top 20 picks like the analysts are saying? Jaron Pierce. What's up, Jaron? They certainly have a lottery pick in Kasparis Yakashionis. Will Riley is a first round. I don't know if they've got him in the top 20, but he certainly looks first round material. And then Tomislav Ivisic, if he keeps playing this way, he could certainly be in the first round. I thought somebody had him in the second round, but that was last week. It could change. They could certainly do. They certainly could. I mean, these freshmen are skilled, ladies and gentlemen. They're really, really skilled. And I think you're going to see every game they're going to get better and better, because not only are they getting playing time, but all 3 of them are gym rats. And so they seek out additional information. And you'll see that they're going to get better and better. So they certainly could be that way. Now, some of that CDNIU is because of his heart problems. they have to be in a area where if something happens with it, they can address that. That's part of the issue, but that's not the main issue because most places have defibrillators on site. They have people that are trained that if there's a heart situation that they can handle that. So that's part of it, but that's not the main reason. But good guess. Carol says, I would take Michigan State. Defense wins games. Yeah, but if you're shooting the basketball like Michigan State has been lately, Carol, your defense can only do so much. Because I mean, they're really let's pull up what they are from the three on the season. Where is it? Okay. I don't think they. Yeah, they're shooting 20% from the three. Compared to. Well, hold on. Let me do this. Let me go to this source. This is a quicker source. Let's see. So Michigan effective field goal percentage, they're Michigan's top 20 in the country. They're shooting almost 39% from three. And Michigan's effective field goal percentage is top 17 in the country. So Michigan's defense is their top 25 defense. Michigan State. Where is Michigan State? Oh, here we go. Four. Michigan State is shooting 20%. They're 359th in the country from three. And defensively, they're top 40. So, well, they're top 15 defense overall. But field goal percentage, they're pretty good. But Michigan's right there in terms of defense, and statistically, they might be better. No, Michigan State's defense top 15, Michigan's top 24. So, but that's Michigan's no slouch defensively. So you're saying that better defense wins, but Michigan State is a barely inside a top 70 offense. Michigan's 36th in the country. So I know, and you know me, I was a defensive dude, but in today's college basketball, Greg Gard told me, head coach of Wisconsin, you got to score. You can't rely on just defense anymore. You got to put points on the board. Kenny Kim. What's up, Kenny? Good to see you, man. Random question. How does a player like Brandon Podziemski, who's doing well in the NBA, not get any playing time while he was with our Illini team? Did he just have a huge talent growth after he left Illinois for Santa Clara? Ooh, let me see if I can answer this the correct way. When Brandon came in, he had guys like Trent Frazier and DeMonte Williams ahead of him. And I think Brad was I don't think Brad adjusted quite as well as he does now. I've seen tremendous growth from Underwood during the time that he's been at the head coach of Illinois. And I just think that he was going to ride with those veterans. I don't think it was any shade towards Brandon Podziemski. He did get better at Santa Clara because he got a chance to play. And he got thrown in a system that highlighted him. So was he that good at Illinois? I don't think so. But you could see that he was a baller because he was giving it to Trent Frazier and DeMonte in practice. It wasn't like he didn't show what he could do. He was giving it to him in practice. But Brad was going to ride with the veterans. Could he have gotten Brandon some time? Yes. Could he have gotten him in the rotation? Yes, I think so. But he also went out to Santa Clara and was featured in a conference that he could dominate with his body and his skill set. So I think that's it was a combination of both. But good question. Kenny, I just think they need to continue to play. They've got a challenging schedule. Pardon me. They'll learn more as they continue to play together. I don't think there's anything glaring that can keep them from being a second weekend team. Offensively, they're there. Defensively, they're getting better and better every game. I think their toughness quotient is going to improve based on going up in weight class against some of these non-conference opponents. I don't see any glaring things necessarily. Now, the depth of the front line concerns me a little bit. Ivisic, Perez Johnson Jr., Jason Jackstis. I don't know if they're planning on redshirting him or not. I hope not. Because there'll be times when he may have to play. I don't see Kerry Booth swinging down to guard on the front line extensively because he's kind of like a deer in his legs still. He's got to get much stronger from his waist down, in my opinion, to be effective, especially against the bigs in the Big Ten. Trey Kaufman-Wren, Raleigh Burgess, Will Berg at Purdue, Julian Reese, Derek Queen at Maryland, Danny Wolf, Vlad Golden at Michigan, Stephen Crowell, Nolan Winter at Wisconsin. You know, there's some quality bigs. Nebraska got a big front line. Quality bigs in the Big Ten. And Kerry Booth, that's the only thing that I'm a little concerned with is the front line depth of the Illini. But everything else, I think that they're pretty good. They just need to keep playing and they just need to get more mature. Just mature and learn the game. My broadcast schedule this week is Sanford at Michigan State tomorrow night on Peacock. Friday, Big Ten Studio. I'm in studio with Seth Davis. I believe we're covering 3 games on Friday. One of them won't be on our air, but we'll be looking at Nebraska Creighton. And then I think that's it. So it's a much lighter week this week, which I ain't mad about because I need to catch my breath and get into the rhythm of this and get back to you guys. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing this week. What's up, Louie? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Tyson, look. Ladies and gentlemen, Cohen Carr had an alley-oop dunk. I played a lot of basketball. I played at every level, including the NBA. I have never seen this. Maybe Gerald Green one time had a alley-oop where his head was at the rim. Cohen Carr did an alley-oop. He caught it and dunked it, and it was like this. We had a backboard camera, and it looked like when I saw it, I said, wait a minute, his head was over the rim. They showed the replay from the ground, and then they showed the backboard cam. His eyes were at his forehead and hair were over the rim. In all the games I've ever played or called, I've never seen it. It was unbelievable. Yes, he's the best dunker in college basketball. He's probably a top 5 athlete in the NBA right now. Right now. And guess what I'm going to tell him when I see him tomorrow? Son, if you lock yourself in a gym and you can just get a 17 to 18-foot jumper just to make people honest and handle the ball a little bit better, you can write your ticket. You can write your own ticket. Take an hour a day outside of practice, outside of conditioning. Give yourself an hour a day. Go get one of the assistant coaches. Tell them to give you a shooting regimen. Go get one of the managers so that they can rebound for you. Get in the gym because his athleticism is freaking off the charts. But you got to stick a jump. You can't play in the NBA level if you can't shoot the jumper. You got to have at least a jumper to keep people honest. He's got he's got more athleticism than Miles Bridges. And Miles Bridges is a freak, but he ain't like this dude. Cohen Carr is ridiculous. Um, what's up, Simeon? No problem. Glad you tuned in, bro. No problem. Here's what I was saying about Alabama versus Illinois. Top 5 offense in Alabama. They want to be in the 90s. Illini, statistically good defense. They're going to have to guard a 3. Mark Sears will try to get back on track against Kylan Boswell. That's going to be a great matchup. Kylan Boswell will step up to the challenge in that situation. He won't be guarding Sears the whole game, but he's going to start on him. And the majority of the game that Boswell's in, Bam will be guarding him. So that's going to be a fantastic matchup. Can Ivicic stay out of foul trouble? Because Alabama runs a ton of actions that free up 3-point shots. They don't do a bunch of paint touches. That's not what Alabama does. So I'm not concerned about Ivicic and Morez Johnson's defense in the post. I'm a little bit more concerned on the perimeter, the ball screen actions, the weak side stuff that comes strong side suddenly. Those are the things that I'm a little concerned about. And can Illinois continue to attack the rim? Because Cliff Amore in these big games, he tends to get in foul trouble like he did at Purdue, like he did in his career at Rutgers. I don't see that changing because he's an elite rim protector. But Illinois still has the challenge coming downhill to get to him. So that's what I'm looking for in terms of what to look for in that game. I hope that helps you. Excuse me. Where was I? Thomas Brooks says, why is the Alabama game on SEC Network and not Big Ten? Because generally, Thomas, when you see a Big Ten team in non-conference play on the road, generally Big Ten Network doesn't pick those up because the home team has the opportunity to pick those up. That's why that game is on SEC Network, because it's considered a home game for Alabama. I know it's neutral in Birmingham, but that's a SEC Network definitely wanted that one. That's why that game is going to be on SEC Network. That's why the Tennessee game, Tennessee versus Illinois, let me double check here. I don't know if they'll have it on the source that I'm looking at. Oh, wait a minute. No, I got it. Where is that game? Illinois. See, that's a Fox game. Tennessee and Illinois will be on Fox. That's Big Fox. That's not FS1. That's Big Fox. So a lot of times you'll see it'll either be an ESPN or Fox game, or if ESPN or Fox doesn't pick it up, it will be SEC Network or Big Ten Network. That's why you see that. Xavier Booker, Philip, I don't know if Xavier was blowing hot air at Big Ten Media Day, but he had a quote, and the way that he said it, I thought was genuine. And he said, one of the reasons he likes playing for Tom Izzo is because he pushes him. But the thing that Xavier said that stood out to me was not only does he push him, he said that you can talk to Tom about anything. He said, I go to coach for stuff that's off the court, and that I can really talk to him. Those personal relationships mean everything. And young people, even though most young people in this day and age are too sensitive for correction, Xavier Booker comes from an outstanding upbringing, background. He's got a lot of support. And those people know that even though he was supposed to be one and done, he wasn't anywhere near being one and done. He needs the seasoning that he's getting from Tom Izzo at Michigan State. So I don't see Xavier Booker trying to transfer. I don't see it. Now, could he transfer because he gets more NIL money somewhere else? That's a possibility. But if the NIL is kind of comparable, I don't see him leaving Michigan State. Hey, what's up, James? Good to see you. Yes, the conference is due for a national championship. Starting out the year, I didn't think the Big Ten had elite teams, but they're beating elite teams. So maybe the conference does have a couple, two or three elite teams that can make a deep run and possibly a national championship. We'll see. They're certainly looking like the conference has a better shot than they did at the beginning of the season because you need to go up against heavyweights like Alabama, like Kansas, like Tennessee, like Auburn, like Marquette. You know these marquee, like Creighton, these marquee non-conference games, and so we'll see. But I think I feel a lot better about it now than I did at the start of the season. James, not in a million years. Coaching, I've got tremendous respect for those guys, but boy, do they grind. And I like my off season. They don't have an off season anymore. Not with the transfer portal, not with NIL. There's no off season. Those guys grind. So no, because when you start coaching, and I'm 56, if I were to start coaching, I'd have to start at a lower level and try to move my way up. I wouldn't. No, no. I love what I'm doing too much, James. But thanks for that question. Ooh, good question, Philip. Rank your top 5 Big Ten teams based on players' talent alone. Wow. All right. Let me do this. Um, my top 5 teams based on talent alone. Ooh, great question. Certainly Illinois, Indiana, and Purdue are in there. Um, Michigan's got a lot of talent, but so does Maryland. So does Ohio State. All right. Player talent alone. And not in any order. This is a tough one. Illinois, Indiana, Purdue, Rutgers, and maybe Ohio State. Just in terms of talent. Not who I think is the better teams, but individual talent, probably those 5. Man, nobody's asked me that though. Great question, Philip. Boy, you on fire today. Um, oh, Carol's on YouTube. I'm scared of you, Carol. I see you. Um, Karthik Shanmugam. Karthik Shanmugam. Hope I said that right. I know this is your first time on Bardo's Breakdown. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. And thank you for the kind words. Um, he does. He does hold the most wins in conference play. 1 game over Purdue right now. Good question. I don't know why he hadn't. Wait a minute. I thought he got Underwood hadn't been co-Big Ten Coach of the Year yet. Um, you would know. I mean, you guys are knowledgeable. I thought he got Big Ten Coach of the Year 1 year. Guess not. He sure should have. Um, yeah. Interesting, isn't it? The fact that he's got 3 Big Ten championships in the last 4 years, but he's not Big Ten Coach of the Year. It's a great question. I don't know. Tell you what, this team, he might get it with this team because with all these new players and to get them to gel and play at an elite level, he can get it this year. Hey, CD, I hope Jimmy Dykes is on it. Jimmy Dykes is one of my favorite guys. He's been great to me throughout my career. He's a straight up cool dude. I love his style. I love his knowledge. I sure hope it's him. I'm not sure who's going to be on it, but I hope it's him. Kylan Boswell is one of the best on-ball defenders in college basketball. If anybody on the Illini team can stay up with Mark Sears, it's Bam. Bam would be up for the test. Bam will definitely be up for the test. Fly, Illini, fly. Thank you. Brad has never won Coach of the Year. Wonder why that is. That's crazy. Dennis Carey, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Man, you guys are on fire today. I appreciate you. Let me get my business out. Man, I didn't do this early enough. Go to Bardo's Tribe and get your copy of the free copy Guide to the New Big Ten. You'll be included in the newsletter, which I give different information I give here, a little insight there. And then go check out the different tiers on Bardo's Tribe. I think you'll enjoy it. You can also join the tribe by texting me 312-847-2739. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We got it's on and popping, off and running. Love you guys. Go to Bardo's Tribe. Check out the different tiers. I'm finally got a Thursday where I can talk to the tribe members on the tiers. You guys get an email with the link coming up Thursday noon Central Standard Time. Hope you guys can make it. Be looking for that email. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Always a pleasure. And until next time, holla, y'all.